What's good? Yeah, sorry I was a little bit late. I don't know what happened. I actually went to Starbucks because I was like in trades and I don't like not being able to monitor stuff. And my girl texted the power came back on, but the red lights and everything were out. First thing I want to note is this US dollar CAD setup. Now, originally I had been really wanting this high to get swept up here. You know, when I look at it, I mean, that would still be the ideal scenario, right? And I think that will happen at some point, but I think we potentially could retrace a little bit before then. Now the setup's still developing. These highs are pretty, ominous. I think there's a lot of shorts. Ideally, I would want this to get swept and to see some sort of, sweep and move to the downside. But I'm looking at the 4-hour, the way we came off of this high, we barely pipped it, but the way we came off that high with that much displacement, that makes me a little more, I guess, apt to be ready to short. Because the way I look at it, the structure went like this, went up, down. So we broke above. So now the structure was bullish. When we came up, we started to form this kind of higher, high and low. And then to right there was a change of character for me under this low. So introduce new supply, the 4-hour. Now I'm looking at the 15-minute. We got some equal lows here. So I'm expecting this to get ran. Now the reaction after that is going to be a little bit more telling, just because we are, so I said bullish or bearish the daily on Bitcoin. I'll get into that in 1 second. I just now saw that. But I expect us to get under these lows, but what we do under them, say if we form a huge wick, I would look for all this to get swept out, potentially even this up here. So again, I'm not rushing anything. If I look at this 4-hour supply and I refine it to where I view the displacement really beginning, it would be right here anyways. So, that would give us the sweep of this high. I could maybe see the sell side get taken here, rush up above the highs, and then start to form the setup. And I'm not really one to, we did tap the zone, made a move down, and then kind of came up and swept the high there. So there was a short-term liquidation. Again, I could see a redistribution schematic playing out here where we come up, clean out all the early shorts, induce some longs up in these regions. So dollar CAD is what I'm watching right now. Not rushing anything. It's late in the week. I don't even know if it'll develop this week. I did want to just go over that because that was what I was looking at. So another setup I wanted to go over because there's a lot of stuff going on right now with the European Union. I really would like, this candle down here, but I don't know if we'll get it. I'm not going to force anything here either. What I probably see happening here is these highs getting cleared up. I actually see someone, Business Patrick, said something about this at 10:25. That was yesterday. Never mind. I'm looking at the stream chat. So we talked about in the private server that we were a bunch of setups we were watching for today's price action. Almost every one of them kind of did the dash there for a bit. Aussie dollar was one of the laggers. Now, there's another setup that's going. I think this one might be going at thousands. But a lot of buy-side sweeps into supply introduction on the higher time frames with dollar pairs. Dollar, at the head. I took a sell on. I'll go over this really quick. This is an Asia session trade. I barely risked anything, so it was, still nice to see the bias play out. And this was a very simple trade. Price is obviously overextended. Introduction of supply by this change of character. We took out that short-term low, so that showed me that, and we did it with displacement. So now I went to the 15-minute. I waited for price to return into the zone and then get that sweep. On the lower time frames, there's a 3 drive, and just waited for the break of structure and use the candle that swept liquidity as a POI. Well, I guess the 2 candles. This is the one who swept. Sniped it pretty clean, easy 2R, just bouncing from one area of liquidity to the next. Usually, shorting this is like, kind of going against the grain for the most part. Obviously, but there's still opportunities to be had sometimes. I'm just kind of hanging out on this one as well. It's Thursday, so with Forex, I mean, I don't know how much, there might be some good setups tomorrow, but nothing that's going to be, anything to hold over the weekend, obviously, or anything like that, of course. But for the euro, I wanted to see it move down to this candle down here. But the reason I wanted that was because this was the new demand that got introduced after this original sweep demand was mitigated. So if we look at it like this, kind of trace the order flow, price swept the low and introduced some form of demand in this wick. Maybe on a 15 minutes visible. Yeah. And we got that price showed the desire to go higher. It came down to this zone, and that's where we took off from. So it kind of accumulated on top of this sweep candle. Yeah, this would have been the optimal entry right here. It's anywhere in this region here or here. But if we look, this got swept all that as well. So I see this right here as a high value area if price comes back down to it. We might not get it, but that's kind of what I'm waiting on. Like, yes, we are in the imbalance for sure, and it could just go from here. I get it, but I don't necessarily see any reason to get involved yet. But overall, I really want the euro to come up and take these highs into this imbalance. And after that, it would be to the depths of hell where it's kind of been destined for some time now. But that's the narrative I want to see play out on the euro. Because the way I look at it on the higher time frames, the sell side keeps getting taken, and now we finally have demand introduced. And what I'm looking at is a potential 3 drive right here going into the liquidity of the range. So we've taken the sell side. Now I kind of want to take the buy side. And again, we don't have to go all the way up into this imbalance. That would be ideal just because we have a lot of liquidity built up. But again, this could just be order flow because, we have the introduction of supply, price returns to mitigate it. Same thing, price returns to mitigate it. So just because these highs are, somewhat equal doesn't necessarily mean they all will get swept. I just see this as a potential redistribution, and it seems like we're kind of hopping over the creek, so to speak. And that's some Wyckoff for you, but not really a big Wyckoff guy, but that's what I would see happening here. I've been looking to get a short entry on euro to just swing for some time now, so I'm being patient with it. No need to rush. Again, overall macro trend is very bearish for the euro. I really want all this down here. And honestly, really any of this would suffice, even this low. I'm actually going to move this up. So that would actually, we took that low. So what we'll do is we'll just wait. Again, I think that, we didn't take the low. Okay, well, yeah, that's actually better for shorts. Yeah. So that's kind of another setup I have my eyes on. Somebody said can feel the caffeine vibes. That's funny as fuck. I literally did just drink. I said I went to Starbucks. That's right. That espresso is hitting. Bitcoin. Somebody asked for this. So for me with Bitcoin, I really want us to come back up into this range. So we'll spend a little bit of time here because I know we started off the week and I was looking at this as the manipulation. All right, I looked at this as accumulation above sell side liquidity. We came down under the lows, and I remember I was saying it's clear as day that we're going to go up. So I was wrong there, right? No big deal. It's never fun to be. Well, we weren't really on the wrong side of the market because we didn't take losses, or I didn't take any losses except Filecoin, but we shorted ETH on I think Wednesday or Tuesday, and that hit like ridiculous gains. So it really didn't matter. But what I'm seeing now is I think that this actually would be the manipulation. I think I miscalculated where we were at. And we went over the old bias, so I won't go over it again. Basically, this low I thought was the liquidity, accumulation, manipulation, and I wanted us to distribute back up into this inefficiency, potentially this breaker. But what I see now is a potential. We've really taken out some liquidity here on the daily. I don't know. Did we take out this low? 63. Yeah, so we took out a lot of liquidity. I'm actually gonna move this down. So we took out really all of these lows here. There we go. And now I think that this would be more likely to be the actual manipulation phase. What I'm looking for to confirm that is a pushback into this range. Ideally, I want to get above this high right here. That's why I have an alert set for it. What did Dano tag me in? Was it Dano? I thought it was Dano. Hold on. Oh, fucking Den. Yeah. I saw that shit. I was laughing. Yeah, I want to get a back above this high. And then I'll look for demand. I mean, I still like this zone for potential longs. Again, with Bitcoin, I'm not going to force anything. The stock market, which we're going to go over next, is pretty wild. Especially we got FOMC tomorrow, so it's like, again, you know, we don't want to rush anything with all that coming up. You said, can I check the 1 hour order block on Bitcoin? That's kind of actually what I was going into. I don't know if you're talking about this. Personally, I'm chilling on that. I could regret it. I mean, I could see it moving from here, but I want this down here. Because to me, I mean, yeah, it's there. If that's, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but the only reason I don't like it, and this is something new to my strategy that's helped me a lot when I do use supply and demand, I don't really look at zones that didn't take liquidity, because I think a lot of supply and demand teachers will teach those zones, and sometimes they work, but I found, at least for me and for the assets I trade, they're not as consistent. And also, when you really think about it, if we're looking to enter in supply and demand, you know, we're looking to enter where smart money is mitigating orders. So, you know, what does smart money usually do whenever they enter the marketplace? They take liquidity. Right? That's everything we try to learn as smart money traders revolves around liquidity and manipulation. So if the zone has no manipulation, to me, it's not as high value. While that may make me miss trades, that's fine. That's my personal strategy. But you know, the reason I like this zone over here is because it did take liquidity. Now, you know, we could look at it like that's already been mitigated, because if we go and refine, you know, this really was the candle that took liquidity, maybe something in the wick, I guess. You know, you can continuously refine and refine and refine, but to me, this was the big raid of this region. So, you know, while we could just be reaccumulating up here on top of this, I can see it for sure. But personally, I'm going to wait, especially with FOMC tomorrow. And I probably won't even force along here. I'm actually just kind of drawing it and testing, because to me, the internal structure on Bitcoin is still bearish. This would be the high for me. And that's even being aggressive, because the way I look at it was we came down to the range. We had a low there, high, low, high. We got to change a character. So then this was the range we were playing within, right? But then when we got that second move to the downside, I'm going to move my high, since it's a continuation, to the most recent high. It's a little more aggressive than some. You know, some might use this or a different high. That's my logic behind it. But so until then, the 4 hour is really bearish. And while I have this narrative that Bitcoin, you know, could be in, you know, you could look at it as a market make or buy model, because we have the consolidation, the number one, number two, and then number three coming into the liquidity. And then we have a price delivery array above, and a premium of the daily range. So, you know, I mean, I could see that, but I think that there's also, you know, kind of a dangerous game you play when you build some of these speculative narratives. If you try to play off them, like for instance, if I tell you that I think that this is the manipulation, or if let's just say we were here and I just said, just buy anywhere in this range because I'm so positive we're going up here. Now, we found nice alt setups that we made some money off. Some ADA is actually still active. The only one that we took a loss on was Phil, So yes, we'll trade off that narrative, but those trades were backed by structure. So until I see somewhat of bullish structure in this range, then I'm not going to look to long, because structure really is everything. Now I might catch a scalp or some form of liquidity raid play, but as far as looking for anything to swing up into the range, I'm just kind of chilling on that. And Adeliki, let's see what this is. Somebody said, can't believe there's only 20 people watching, but there's 1 million people watching a potato sleeping. I don't know if that's some like what's it called? Some random stream. But for Adeliki, I'm going to do ETH and NEAR now. Dude, NEAR I'm going to be sad about because I'm pretty sure this was a little trade I took this morning. I ended up just getting stopped at break even. It was such a chop. I took it last night, actually. I should have waited for this POI. And I almost did, but the spreads on my broker, I hate setting limits, so I just took a baby position. This was actually farther down. It was fixed 2R, but I ended up just getting stopped at break
Powell
even.
speak?
Huh?
Did I miss Powell?
Oh yeah, that was like 4 hours ago.
Oh fuck, dude! I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
I mean, shit. It's not like I mean, the move on the indices was really the only thing of value. This actually looks kind of like a clean little short here, if you want my honest opinion. Let me delete some of this TA. Just in the way. The logic for that, though, was this change of character, and I just ended up taking a trade there. But here I see a sweep of all these highs right here, and then a break of structure to the downside. So I would look for the 5 minute at that point. Yeah, I mean, this actually looks pretty good here. I'm probably done trading for today. I hit NOS pretty clean, so I'm not gonna degen. Yeah, I mean, it looks like
fucking slapped ETH.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I can see it really. Can't even rate it that high.
I am interested in what the coins that you said you were gonna just do, though. I am interested in those. Whoever asked was reading my mind.
Wait, so what is it?
Whoever asked about NEAR and that other coin, yeah.
Here the ideal entry would be up above these highs, because this is like the candle that really dug into that zone and swept liquidity. But I mean, I don't know if you'll get that, but I do like that zone. Overall for ETH, though, I will say ETH daily looks good in my opinion. I like how he came this wick right here. I like that. Ideally, I'd like to come up above this high and clean these shorts out into this imbalance right here. But, again, when we look at supply and demand, order flow seems to be pretty bearish still, because we got that 4-hour change right off of this, that daily supply. So again, to rush into, I really want to see a push up above this high, right? Because again, the internal structure for me is still bearish. And the institutional logic structure, the way I look at that, it would be still bearish. We're consolidating within this imbalance in the supply candle. If FOMC wasn't tomorrow, I'd probably just short this. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm not going to.
Fucking Longway called a nice short last night, too.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. It was XRP, right?
Yeah. It's been a good fucking week, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah, I could see ETH coming back down really under these lows, but possibly lower. I mean, if you're looking at the 4-hour, I mean, really, you've got most of the confirmation you need. Because this is where we shorted from the other day, was like right here. Back up to that zone, right? Sweep into the zone, refined. 15-minute, change of character. Liquidity building up under the zone, push up into it. 15-minute change of character again. And then 5-minute change of character in that region right there. But I'm not going to rush into anything. I'm actually going to set an alert just out of curiosity because I might take something if we come back above here and I'm watching. Got to stay disciplined and not rush into stuff the day before FOMC, though, to be honest. But as far as for ETH, I would look to come back down at least to a discount of this little impulse move. So let's go. I'm going to look at indices before I do near. So I'll do NQ first because I took that this morning. So I took most of the profits above this high. I didn't hold up to the end, but I did have like probably 20% of a position that got break even, which looking back, I guess I should have taken profits at the supply instead of the highs right here. I wanted this liquidity right here, this high, but didn't get it. My power was actually going out like right around this point, but we had that big push up after employment numbers came back better than expected. Classic manipulation. There was a way to play off of it because we did come into a nice little POI on that move to the downside this morning. So this was a very simple play. There's also an imbalance right there. A good friend of mine pointed this out to me this morning too. But I just played the 5-minute this morning. I didn't even go aggro at the 1 because I didn't like the 1 minute on the NASDAQ. Like it was there. If you look at, there was just not as much displacement for me. There's no fair value gap. So I kind of was like, damn, I missed it. I zoomed out at the 5-minute and I saw, okay, well, looking at the 5-minute, clear displacement from the 5-minute. I just waited for price to come back into this fair value gap. I marketed. My fill was actually a little better than this, but I just mapped it out based off the top of the fair value gap. And I wanted the high before we dumped, which was this right here. And the reason I picked that and not the high up here was because I viewed it as like, this was kind of a lower time frame consolidation where supply is introduced, and then there's going to be sell side or buy side liquidity right here. Now, there is buy-side liquidity here. I had somebody on Twitter ask me, they were like, well, that's not buy-side liquidity. That's equal highs. And I was like, that's the same thing. Looks like dollar CAD is moving into this range. So now what I want to see, ideally, I'd like to see a closure here. I would be kind of surprised if we got it just because of all the equal lows we're soaking up. But we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on this one for sure. This moving to the downside would support. I'm not sure what's going on with the CAD, but if the dollar starts to get weaker, let's take a look at DXY. This is something I tweeted about and I put in the server last night as well. This imbalance that we've kind of repriced under, see how we came above it and traded back through it. Now that's going to be major. If we can hold below this high up here, we should see some relief for most financial markets that are denominated by the dollar. So we're kind of repricing under it. We've got that 3 drive scenario pushing up. Now we didn't really get a displacement break of structure to the downside, and we came off the low very rough. So it's, again, not, I wouldn't call it yet, but I am liking where we're at. I will say that much. So we're coming into that gap, reacting pretty nicely off of it. The 15-minute is showing some displacement on the downside, but again, it's too early to just call it for sure. We'll see how that goes. Ideally, to be very confident in this, I would love to see a very, very rough move on the 4-hour chart close under these lows. Daily is just chilling. Again, the reason we picked this, for those who are just new to stream, it's a fair value gap on the weekly back from 2002. And also, if we look at the monthly price delivery range, which is the most recent pro trend order block, and then we find the most recent order block that doesn't touch this order block right here. And that also, another key level here was the SMT divergence with the US 5-year notes, which indicated a anticipation among institutions that short-term interest rates were going to be raised, and that was correct. They announced 2 months after that, I think, or was it was it August or July? I think it was August. They announced mid-August. They announced that we were intending to raise interest rates up. So that's a very valuable tool, is understanding the divergence between the 5-year, 10-year, and 30-year notes and the dollar. But we got that divergence, very key level. Manipulation was going on here, so we know that there was institutional sponsorship. And then we look to the left at the next zone that is not touching this. When I say zone, I mean order block. So we can't pick that order block. The most recent one is this. Now, also, this order block was pushing to the upside back in 2002 and was really the end of the dot-com crash. So that's why you see all of this massive move. The downside was investors were more comfortable to move back into the economy after that financial crisis. So it's very key levels we're approaching, right? Now, if you take a fib and draw it on those levels, you have equilibrium right at this high and this imbalance on the weekly chart. And look where we're at. So oftentimes, when you come up into a premium of this range, you will see some form of a retracement. Now, the overall trend is still bullish. So the macro trend for most markets is still bearish, but we are looking at potential relief, right? Where to? Probably down to this imbalance is what I would look at. Weekly order block here. I'm going to move this up and change this to weekly. So again, we've been talking about this for some time. While everything's been pretty volatile, markets are pretty fun right now. I mean, they're not fun for some people, but everything is going according to plan. It's been rocky. It's been to the point where it almost makes you want to switch your bias, but it's very important that once you develop a bias, you stick with it. Now, you can trade against it intraday. I'm not saying once you say something like this, we can only long, but you can very easily kind of crucify yourself if you don't stay on your bias, right? And you're not focused. You can easily, it's very easy to switch up. Somebody that's would get scared. Oh, we moved above the fair value gap. I mean, even when I saw us moving above it, I said, okay, well, we need to go under this. I said it's key that we come down and place ourselves under this if we're looking to go lower. Seems like that's what we're doing, right? And again, I can be wrong. I was just wrong on Bitcoin and about the range it was in, but I don't care to be wrong, right? When I'm wrong, now I just look at it like, okay, well, now I have a new model to look at and a new idea. You know what I mean? So it's better to be wrong than to try to be right and switch your bias up 10 times. And you're that guy who's always like, this is the bottom, this is the bottom, this is the bottom. And then it finally is. And you can say that you called it. And that's cool. That's cute. But it's bad for your psychology to try to do that, because it develops the mindset that you have to be right in order to make money, which is not true, right? We just need to be right some of the time. But the big point I want to stress is just stay convicted in whatever it is that you think is going to happen. So for me, while we did fall from this range, I'm still leaning towards the bullish relief bear market rally side because of DXY, because of where we're at with Bitcoin, more so because of where we're at with indices, right? We took out the sell side here. So now I look at it like we're going to rally up probably into this imbalance, maybe above these highs in reverse. But again, it seems like indices are making a nice little move up. Or no, that was just a 4-hour chart. But, again, we don't want to force anything. But that's kind of where I'm at. See a lot of shorts up here. A lot of shorts. So near, it's gonna make me sad because I know we had, okay, never mind. That makes me happy because we had shorts that we cut. I was like gonna be really sad if it fell. Yeah, this was it's funny. It ended up going, look at that. It would have, because we were in, I think up here was right where we were at in the stop loss. I want to say it was up here. So it would have literally came up almost to our entry, or I mean our stop loss, went all the way down and just cucked us on our TP if we would have stayed in those. Maximum pain. I'll just, oops, I knew that. So I'll just do, kind of redo this chart. And you're kind of getting up into this territory with near, where I'd be a little more hesitant on longs because you're nearing the premium of the original impulse on the daily. Now on the weekly, you've still got some ways. Actually, it's pretty close, to be quite honest. I mean, I would be weary of longing up in these areas personally. I think there's better setups, lower risk setups that are not overextended. That's just me. That being said, you had this massive liquidity rate to the downside the other day. Not much you can obviously do that 4-hour candle, but you see on this last little liquidity rate, this was the ideal entry. Came up and took out the high. So, I mean, this one's, if I had to look at any zone, let's say if we somehow got a retracement back down to this region, I would entertain this area right here, preferably really this down here. Yeah, that candle would be what I'd look at more than anything. I know it's not a down close candle, but again, it took liquidity. So I'm just looking at where the institutions got involved. There's an imbalance right in front of it. So that would be my main interest. The only way I'd really touch this for long is if it came back down there. Otherwise, I'd be looking for price up in this region to start to distribute. Yeah, I just saw you said Liquid and Choach. I just would wait till we come back down. So he said SPY shorts. I'd personally chill. What's up, Bjorn? Yeah, ETH reaching that POI. That's what I'm saying. I'm not really rushing into anything here. I would say that's where, I mean, if anything, if I were looking to trade this, that would be where I would look. I'll watch it, even if I don't trade it. And it's cool, like, try sometimes when you're doing TA, even if you're in the trading day, just maybe try to just pause stuff out and just watch it. Because what it does is it'll build confidence, and it will, it'll kind of, it will allow you to view the market from a truly objective viewpoint. Because no matter how good your psychology is or how long you've been trading, I don't give a fuck what you say. If you have money involved, you care. Maybe it's way less than others and it's at a healthy level, but your brain is not processing the information that's displayed to you in the exact same way as if you were just charting. That's why you have a lot of people who are really good paper traders, or people that can trade better with lower amounts of money, because there's less stress involved. But like for me, I enjoy just charting stuff up, and whenever you're right, it kind of, okay, well, you start to learn the behavior a little bit more of the pair. Like Bitcoin, oh, this is getting taken. A Bitcoin's just max manipulation. So once you get to know that, you'll stop yourself from taking setups in the future. Yeah, it's reaching for up here, if not highs, because again, like I'm saying with crypto and ETH as well, the overall daily to me is looking fairly bullish, right? Yes, I get it. We're at the supply, and I get that, but I could see a push up from here. But again, I'm not going to try to play that or guesstimate that until it happens. Let's look at indices. Yeah, indices took that sell so right there and are rallying. I mean, really, if you start to get above, you still have this imbalance, but personally, I'm not going to be trying to short this, but I could see the short narrative, but I'm not, I wouldn't push it. The way I look at it is, you know, the institutional involvement here is into this imbalance right here, break a structure to the upside with displacement. So, you know, I'm kind of like, do I want to short that? Not really, personally. If you caught it up here, maybe like the first pump or first sell off, you know, because I see this zone right here. You know, I could have seen that. And if you look, broke down, came right back up into that sweep candle. You know, that could have been an entry, but where we're at now, I think, you know, you probably should have already really taken profits on this. But who knows? Another sell could definitely present itself. I've noticed myself personally, I don't really like trading the afternoon session with indices. I know that ICT has like the afternoon model, and I've tested it. I just think that the setup, because, you know, oftentimes the setups you get in the afternoon, not always, sometimes the afternoon is the best setup. I get it. But in my experience, more often than not, I spend a lot of time looking at a chart for not really a huge move or a move that's really not great risk to reward. That's just my personal strat, though. Gold doing, oh wow, it came all the way back down. Holy shit. That's crazy. I did not expect that. It didn't hit the zone though, I don't think. Oh yeah, it did. I guess I just didn't have an alert set. Yeah, see, for me, I mean, I would chill on it just because it hasn't swept this, which, you know, I could get left behind, but so I like this one little 1 hour candle right here, push down. That was what swept out the liquidity of this little lower time frame range. That little move down. I think that was actually, yep, right before open into the POI created at OTE of the London expansion. Gold follows this extremely fucking well. It's a deep OTE, but if you draw it from the actual beginning, it's right around optimal trade entry. Gold loves optimal trade entry. It's insane how well it works. I mean, I've back tested, you can almost just set a limit of optimal trade entry as long as you're, what's it called? As long as your risk reward's good enough. When I got added by somebody. Oh yeah, Den again. I know that show was funny. Yeah, ideally here, what I'd want with gold, and I'll set an alert just to see. I'd want to move down under that and get a sweep. Because again, I want something that takes liquidity. I mean, yes, this big move down took some liquidity into these lows, but I want the initial early longs to get stopped, and it doesn't always happen, but oftentimes it does. Often enough for me to make it my strategy and requirement. Man, dollar Swissy just said fuck us. I really wanted to get, this was a very nice zone. It's like, this is what I mean whenever I say a zone that swept liquidity, right? I could have drawn like this, but we came up, swept, got that initial little change of character right there. Price came back up into this sweep candle and then flipped the demand and a supply right there in that candle. So super high value zone in my opinion. I don't know if we'll get a return to it or not. We'll see. What did dollar CAD end up doing? Okay, nice. So this is the kind of move I wanted. So what I'm going to do, and I like how there's an imbalance right here. I'm going to set an alert on, I don't know if this is going to, I'll have to set it to crossing up. So I watched the 5-minute price action up in that zone. Won't force anything, but I like the setup that's starting here. Again, dollar, it moves along with the dollar bias that we have. So I said fill and CHC. So we said, wait, how gold has been manipulated over the years? I know, yeah, it's fucked. JP Morgan at the helm. There's nothing anyone. Oh yeah, you said JP Morgan. Filecoin and CHC. I'm gonna do those, and then I got to run. Oops, wrong chart. Let's see. Holy shit, she took a dive the other day, didn't she? So let's see. Here, I want to clean some of this up. That was the loss I was talking about earlier. We got the ETH shorts with it, so it's pretty clean. We take these lows. Oh, nice. So again, I mean, the 4-hour structure for me is still not where I'd want it to be to long. Like see over here, the reason I longed over here was because you see we came down here, took the low, which gave us a new high. We broke structure, right? So that was where that bias originated. We were seeing that bullish order flow until we weren't, but whenever, and then we came into this candle. This is where we got in that long. But ideally, here I would want us to get above this high before I would really entertain, longs as far as from a swing perspective. That's all I've really been doing with crypto lately. Seems like we had this nice little accumulation push up into equilibrium in the range, but now we're starting to see that displacement on the downside. You could easily see all this get swept. But with FOMC tomorrow, again, I really don't think it's the time to ape into a bunch of crypto plays right now.
Yeah, I'm not trading nothing tomorrow. I'm done for the week after today.
Nice. Yeah, we pushed back up into premium. Now we're starting to see that, moves to the downside. 1 hour is now bearish again. So, we could just fly up to, oblivion, but I don't see it yet. So I said for dollar CAD, so if I see that price hit that fair value gap, what are my criteria to enter? How much importance do I give to kill zones? I kill zones for certain things. Like a kill zone complements my analysis. More so, I'm just worried about session. Like for instance, I'm not going to trade dollar CAD at 10 p.m. at night New York time, just because it doesn't make sense to me. You're just going to get manipulated at position. But yeah, I'm not going to only trade at 7 to 9 either. While yes, you see a lot of the moves of the day start around between 7 and really, in my opinion, like 7 and 10. my advice to people that are learning kill zones and all that, don't get too wrapped up in it, because I think that it's a great recipe for analysis paralysis. And I think to a point, it is helpful, but don't think too much about it. Use them. Don't get me wrong. Use them especially if you're playing liquidity raids and you're trying to catch OT of the London session. Yes, it should happen. But I'm saying if you're looking at, a swing entry or any of those kinds of things, don't just, don't get too wrapped up in that rabbit hole. Now, to answer your question about the zone, was it this? I thought it was this. I can't remember what feed I used. Probably this one. Yeah. To answer your question, for me, I'm looking at it as a 15-minute order block right here. So what I want is I'm going to wait for the 5-minute to go up into it. And I want to see the 5-minute push into it, sweep liquidity, and get a displacement structure or break a structure to the downside. And then that would give me a new POI, to look to go short from. Now it could come up above this, as long as it really doesn't get above this. Is anytime, anywhere in between this zone, that I get a 5-minute break of structure with displacement, like something like this, that would give me reason to short. So now I'll do CHC for you. GU, I gotta see that, and that's the absolute last one I will do, because I really do have to go. I always hate telling people that I won't do stuff. So I remember the other day I was like, that's the last one, and I did like 10 more. CHC. Look at this weekly chart. It seems like the weekly wants to draw back down into this zone, but crypto itself can kind of probably pull it out of that hole. I will say what I like is these highs right here. So they're equal highs. There's nothing really saying that we have to go to them, because when I look at the institutional structure here, I just see displacement break structure to the downside with wrong one. With pushes into these fair value gaps. Now the 4-hour is almost, continuing on its path now. This one doesn't look too great. I mean, again, it's going to really depend on what most crypto does. I think you're coming for this sell side right here, though. Could see a reversal under these lows. I'd probably chill on this one right now. Somebody said, if someone put a gun to your head, do you expect Bitcoin to hit 18.5 or 19.6K first? It doesn't really matter. Just curious. Let's see. I'll entertain it. So you said 18.6 or 18.5. So that's the low, right? That's what we made. It's like the low. Or what was the other one? 19.6. So that's like not that far. I would say, if I had to say, I would say probably 19.6. But again, it's just because you asked the queen died? No shit. I remember I saw that they had that. Is that real? I'm going to look that up. I saw that they were worried about that.
You're lying.
Somebody said on YouTube. I got up. What is this? Okay, I don't. Yeah, okay. Cap alert. But it is. Wait, yeah, it's. I did see that they are all there, with her because of her health. Unless maybe I don't want to. I don't see anything on it. But somebody said that on YouTube. Said Queen died. Damn. I was like, holy shit. Oh, so somebody is wait, what is this? Somebody's saying the Watcher Guru is saying. Fuck, I can't click it. Discord's pissed me off. Where is it? Oh yeah, somebody said the Watcher Guru tweet shift says it. So maybe it's not cap. It's right here. I just don't. I'm surprised it's not on like news.
Well, yeah, she passed.
She did?
Yeah.
Damn, that's sad. Well, R.I.P. Rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth.
What?
Damn.
Queen Elizabeth was passed.
How am I not? How is there like nothing on the internet right now about it? That's sad, man.
She was old as shit. She was mean as fuck.
96. So she is.
When the queen dies, Jesus Christ.
What is GU doing? I think he's going to come up to that zone. All those highs just resting up there. It might even go above it, honestly. Because again, overall bias for stuff right now is I'm leaning more bullish. But tomorrow will bring a lot more clarity because, you know, last time, here's the last time good old Mr. Powell gave us a nice little press conference, other than today, of course. But so once he starts talking BPS, just take cover. Something tells me, though, I mean, I don't like to anticipate news, but where DXY is at, I feel like it's getting distributed. So I don't know if that's because of, you know, large bodies are anticipating some form. I don't know, to be honest, what good he could say. That's not just bullshit, but it's just like when he said we're not in a recession. You know, they can say whatever, and the markets start, you know, just being manipulated. Yeah. So Dan Cheese is not cap. Sorry for saying that. Fucking graduate is funny as shit in Discord. Like, I still don't know if he's fucking with me that he's from Russia or not. Oh, Aussie dollar started doing that thing finally. There's another setup I wanted to watch. I just didn't get involved in this because I was trading indices. This is pretty clean though. See, this is why I don't like playing the first move into a zone. You see, we get that first move, even though it goes all crazy, right? Then it gets swept. Swept twice. Yeah, that's max pain. I would have probably even got stopped out on that if I'd have played it, to be quite honest. I don't know. Sometimes I try to put the stop under the 15-minute low if I can. What's the stock market doing? Kind of that decisional point here. I think actually this would probably be the more high value zone. see though. Well, somebody asked for GU. DXY something people trade? Yeah, people trade the dollar. Yeah, so the DXY is actually based on 6 different currencies. GBP up or down with the Queen news? Probably up because investors will have fear initially, and then money flows out of their markets into their currency. That's why you see that happen. Something I saw in the chat said, wouldn't that make the market tank? And it's like, well, I mean, their market tanking, that's what this looks like, is this right here. So nothing yet for me. A lot of equal highs up here. That's probably what we're going to draw to. I'll watch price above that. If we can introduce a new demand area, I'd watch for an M5 return. Similar setups across a couple different pairs. Who knows if this will if I'll even get involved in these. I'll alert to the channel if I do, but the setup I like the best right now, and it's still developing, don't just short from this zone, but is the dollar CAD. Because we could still, here's the thing of this setup. You could still, and this is why I want to wait for confirmation, is because I see a potential to come up all the way back into this zone, right? That's like the biggest unmitigated zone that I see, and you've got liquidity front running it. That's just refining down from that 4-hour zone, but just let that develop. Nasdaq's way down compared to SPY as far as in its range it's in. Honestly, I might start just trading the M15 on gold. I'm going to do some back testing on that because I've noticed, I haven't have any data on it, but I've noticed, dude, like if you get that 4-hour change and then you get the 15-minute confirmation in that zone, I'm telling you, that shit really does half the time just smack. But I usually try to wait for a 5-minute, but I've noticed gold, a little wider stops, which is fine. Yeah, it moves crazy. I'd almost rather have wider stops on gold. One last little look on the watch list. Yeah, I'd really like these lows to get taken on euro dollar. I don't know if it'll happen, but because I'm not really rushing to long this either. If anything, I want to short euro dollar, but I'll take the long if it provides itself up to where I want to short it from. Because I mean, in all actuality, you might just say fuck what I want to happen, and this be the supply we're moving from. Almost looks similar to indices. That actually doesn't look bad there. Jesus Christ, volatility. It doesn't look bad. Well, on that note, guys, I'm going to hop off to him. I feel bad. Scott said he hates being late to the party right as I hop off, but it'll be recorded, so it'll be up in I think it usually takes 30 minutes for YouTube to post it up. But as always, I appreciate you guys, and you got any questions, always hit me up. just feel free to DM me, tweet me, whatever. I'll get back to you as quick as possible. And then for those of you that are in the private server, you guys know I'm active in there all the time. So yeah, until tomorrow, I will see you guys later. Peace.